So what's up, everyone? Another Freak Chef, Pain Freak Chef Kitchen. Awesomest video in the world. My shit. Creamy Tuscan chicken. And I'm doing this a slightly different way, and this will be in my cookbook when it comes out. I can't wait. I'm very excited about. I'm stuffing the creamy Tuscan chicken recipe. Hell yeah. And this is just a quick way to make it, and it's actually super freaking easy. Fuck my shit. So, it starts with some chicken. So, let's glove up and make this shit happen. And, of course, because I'm Freak Chef, you can book me to book your private party, and I cater and cook for you and your guests. And you can play with me and not your food. Let's do this. So, let's go to our chicken breast on the cutting board. And I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off. Now, the creamy Tuscan chicken thing that I have going on right now is, instead of just a chicken breast, I want to actually, let me pat it dry real quick with a paper towel. Okay. There we go. What that's going to do is going to help the oil and the seasoning stick to it. And I know, I'm just making a mess. I'm just going to put this in the sink. Fuck it. And you can do this a number of different ways. You can take the chicken like this. You can butterfly it, open it up, put all the stuff in it that you want to stuff it with, or you can make a pocket. And I'm a big fan of making pockets and stuff like this. So what I'll do is I'll take the wider end and I'll slide my knife in as if I'm about to make a fillet, but I'm not going from the side over as if you're butterflying it. I'm actually going to take it, puncture it with my knife, and not go all the way in, but just make a little incision in there so that I make a little pocket in it. Okay? And this is just the way I like to do it, because if you butterfly it, you need to toothpick it. But this method, I'm going to get all the stuffing in there. So our chicken is pretty much opened up. I hope you can see that. And we have a nice little pocket in there to get everything we're going to stuff it with right inside. I'm going to move that off to the sheet pan, and I'm going to get rid of this because we're going on to the next step. And this is how super easy this is. So check this out. So what I did was I was preheating the oven, because you're going to need an oven preheated at 375 degrees. And we're going to need some cream cheese for the first part. If I'm doing a large batch, I do this in a big bowl. If not, I just put it in a measuring cup, and it's just easy, because while the oven was preheating, I have an electric cooktop, and so it softens the cream cheese a little bit. And with cream cheese, pinch of salt. A little bit of Italian seasoning. I like to make my own, so we got some oregano. Gonna add a pinch of that. Some basil. Pinch to that. Parsley. I'm using fresh parsley, finely chopped. A little bit in there. Okay. And check this out. Then we have our spinach. So I'm using fresh spinach. I already chopped. I mean, it's a very fine chop. So we're just going to put some of that in there with it. And we're going to save some of this for later. So just like the Italian seasoning mix, we're going to save some of that for later. We're going to do the same thing with the spinach. Now, we're just taking this and we're just going to kind of mix it all up. All right, just like that. And this is a good time to test it. This is going to be the stuffing for the inside of the chicken. And we're going to do something similar on the outside once it's done. Now, in my original recipe, I also used the cherry tomatoes, which I like to make the creamy cream cheese, spinach, and seasoning mix first before I incorporate the tomatoes into it. And you're going to see why here in a little bit. So we've already split our chicken breast up and made a little pocket in that. I'm going to grab another glove real quick and check this out. We're going to take the pocket of our chicken that we just made. All right. I'm going to take that filling, use a spoon. When I've done large volumes of this, what I've done was I've used a piping bag or a piece of like a plastic bag and use that to squeeze the stuffing in there. But there we go. So our seasoned creamy spinach stuffing is in the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and just put the rest of this in there. Why not? It's going to be so delicious. It'll expand a little bit. Okay, let's move this off to the side now it's that done. I'm going to take a couple of the cherry tomatoes. We're going to stuff those inside of this thing. There we go. And we're going to place that down on our rack. Now, if you look at that, we'll go ahead and just use a toothpick just to kind of keep it closed, because as it cooks, we don't want the filling to start pouring out of it. Now it's time to do a little bit of seasoning on the outside of it before we put it in the oven. First, we're going to smother the outside of the chicken with some more seasoning. We're going to use a little bit of olive oil and more seasoning. Now again, the Italian seasoning is just basil, oregano, fresh parsley. You can use garlic powder. You can use a bunch of stuff. Because of the sauce coming on later on, I'm taking it mild with some of the saltiness and stuff like that. But let's go ahead, get another glove on, and maybe another one on that hand. And we're going to go back over here. Again, with our seasonings, what I like to do is I like to put the heavier seasonings on first so that when you do put the drier and lighter seasonings on, they don't pop off. Trust me. So we're going to start with our salt. We're going to get that all over our chicken. Just like that. Then we're going to move into the lighter seasonings. Our oregano, basil, again on all different sides. A little more fresh parsley. There we go. And then we're just going to press them in and make sure our stuffing's not coming out. One of our toothpicks just popped, but that's okay. If that happens, just pull it back. Shove your stuffing back in. Put your toothpick back in. And put it back on the rack. So now, all that's done. And our chicken is ready to go into our oven. Again, 375 degrees right in the oven. And middle rack. And we're going to check back in on that in about 30 to 40 minutes and see where it is. We want the internal temperature to be about 300. The oven's 375 degrees. We want the internal temperature of the chicken to be 165 degrees. So, here we go. And we're going to get this cleaned up and get ready to make our sauce for when our chicken is done and about to run out of the oven and try to kill us for cooking it. All right, so here we go. Our chicken is about 5 degrees away from being done. I actually plugged a little thermometer into the thickest part of where the meat was. So I know that's probably going to go off in a little bit, which means that when it's about 10 to 5 degrees away from being done, it's time to start on the sauce. So let's go over here to the sauce. And the sauce is very easy. We're just going to use a little pan like this. And we're going to start with some butter. So we got our butter. And we got our olive oil. And we're just going to do a little bit of this. And we are going to go to our, just a little burner. We could do it right there. We'll do it in the back. This burner on an electric stove is pretty hot because it sends a lot of heat up from the oven. So we'll just use the back one for now. And then we're going to go with, once that starts heating up and starts getting really nice and roasty toasty, we're going to go ahead and add the spinach. We're going to add our other ingredients right here. We got some heavy cream. We got our tomatoes again. Of course, our chopped spinach. Remember, we divided our tomatoes and we also divided our spinach earlier, along with a lot of the Italian seasoning. You can get a blend of Italian seasoning mix if you want. We also have some minced up garlic that I just minced, and of course our fresh parsley. So Italian seasoning really is just like basil, oregano, garlic, and parsley, salt. So I skip over the buy it in the store Italian seasoning. I just like to make my own. I can make it a little more earthy, adding the oregano. I can make it a little more sweet, adding the basil. Make it a little more salty, adding some more salt. And I can also make it a little more hot and give it some heat with the garlic. And in a recipe like this, the fresh garlic cloves that I have and all that, I think that'll give it enough heat. And I'm happy just balancing it out and all that. So that's just the way I cook. So now that this is reduced down, I don't know if you can see that, we're going to go ahead and start giving a pinch of our oregano, our basil, some parsley. We're going to throw our spinach in here. We actually may have a lot of extra spinach, but we're just going to throw a pinch of that in there. We're just covering one breast, and that means that our chicken is pretty much done. We're at 165 on that. That's very exciting. And that's very exciting. We'll go ahead and unplug our probe, turn this off, and we will remove our chicken from the oven. And look at that. It's actually looking really good. And now we're actually going to start building our sauce. I know, big recipes in tiny little kitchen, and this is where it all could kind of go to hell. So our little base for our sauce is getting there. I'm very excited about that. Back on the heat. We're going to add our fresh chopped garlic cloves. Get that in there. And got some Parmesan cheese, which we're going to shred up right now in a little container. We're going to add that to the mix. Of course, some heavy cream. And this is what's going to add a little bit of that creaminess to it. We're going to start with that. We're going to just combine this. Just like that. Keep it on that back burner, getting nice and happy. Let's go ahead and get a plate to put this on, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Oh, yeah. Incorporate everything. Go ahead and top this with the cream sauce. A nice little bedazzle. Maybe a tomato over there. Oops, I lost something. That's okay. We got plenty of cream sauce. And let's go for some plating technique here. I know I got a chopstick, so we're going to go ahead and use those. Kind of make that look really beautiful. There we go. Just like that. Let's go ahead and grab another tomato. Place it right there. Turn this one over. There we go. Get a little bit of the sauce over the top of it. Look at that. Okay. Get rid of the fork for now, the chopstick. And look at that. Would you just look at that? Okay. I'm going to get my phone and take a picture. Fuck yeah. Fuck my shit. Creamy Tuscan chicken, a winner. Banging like a biscuit, awesome as fuck. Make sure you go to my website, painfreakofficial.com. I'm Freak Chef. Book me to cook for your private culinary party. I'm the private culinary pain toy. And fuck yeah. If you want to hire me to cook for your special event, kink party, anything like that, something erotic, even a news fucking wedding, I'm an ordained minister. I can marry you. And I'll marry you naked. But anyway, love you guys. Please make sure you check out my cookbook that's coming out soon. The Pain Freak Cookbook. Pain Freak Freak Chef Cookbook. It's going to be called Eat My Up. And make sure you check it out. Love you guys.